Buddy, Austin Salas here. Welcome to another video. I'm really looking forward to today's guest. He is actually one of my clients, and for the record, this is our first testimonial interview, which makes this even that much more special. We'll be covering different topics like the issue that Des was having, his thoughts on hypnosis, and the session we did, and how he's feeling after the work, and also, a little bit about the shirts that we're wearing because we do have matching shirts on, which is really cool, and there's a message and symbolism behind it, and I really want to jump right into that. So, without further ado, we have Desmond with us. Desmond, why don't you share a little bit about you, maybe where you're from, your age, and your occupation?
Hey, how's everybody doing? So I'm from Brooklyn, born and raised, New York. Living out here in Denver right now. Army Army 9 years. I'm currently a logistics analyst. Basically, what I do is specialize in getting stuff moving from here to there and staying pretty much staying here to there on the shelf, purchasing. It's just many different aspects of it. So that's basically.
Awesome, brother. Awesome, awesome. And so, just dump right into the idea at hand here. How did we connect in the first place? Like, what made you decide to want to work with me?
So the hypnosis thing was like very interesting. I've been very open with like probably just a lot of things. I know the moment I got out of the army, I literally had like a broken body that nobody didn't know how to help me and nothing like that. So I started looking up other means, financial means of getting myself back healthy, back in shape, back getting myself back together piece by piece. So this came up, and it just reminded me of like another issue that I had. I actually ended up resolving it, but I never knew how I resolved it. And I was looking, maybe this can help me figure out why, the why part.
Right, right. Figuring out the why part, it actually helps us moving forward, understanding, if we understand the why, we can maybe understand the how, and those kind of intercorrelate with each other. And so, yeah, you mentioned that you were looking for different alternatives to doing, because you got out of the army, so you're looking for these different approaches, different techniques, maybe to help you recover or resolve whatever issue you had at hand. So,
Yep.
with that being said, what was happening in your life when you decided to work with me?
Um, I was actually, actually was just getting out of a bad place. So I'm getting, like I said, picking myself up piece by piece, getting myself better. And it's like, hey, I'm building, I have a momentum going, and I want to keep that momentum going. And I'm open to everything, pretty much keeping that momentum going. I feel like, this was a genuine thing that can help me get more pieces to keep going.
Oh, awesome, awesome. And so, had you tried to fix this in the past? Like, have you ever tried anything else to kind of help you put those pieces together?
No,
No.
no, no,
Awesome.
not
And
at
so,
all.
so what were your thoughts going into the session? Did you have any concerns, any things that caught your attention, maybe ideas that you didn't know would present themselves?
Um, Honestly, like concern wise, everybody kind of has a concern. I think the first concern was probably just, is this a waste of money? Probably the biggest part. Is this a waste of money? Because I'm already dealt with it. But at the end of the day, if this is going to help me figure out what's the worst that can happen, worst that can happen is I can lose money. I can just move on. So really, that's probably just the only thing I was really concerned about financially. Just that. Um, I was surprisingly content with just, hey, I'm already good, and it happened. But I was also worried about that issue coming back. So it was just good. Basically, I can't really think of like what to really say or to find the words for it, but Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's it. Thank you for
For
the lost
sure.
my train of thought.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the main things that most people when they want to work with me, they're always like asking like, okay, how can I make sure that I get a result, right? And one of the things that I mean, anybody who's working in the mental health field, you can never guarantee that this is going to be resolved. What we can do is we
Mhm,
can get as close as we can and see what happens, right? I can only see so much. I can only see as far as when we're in the actual S session and we're having that conversation, we're looking at these different pain points and looking at the root causes. But I mean,
mhm.
what would you say to somebody that has that same concern? Like, man, I don't know if this is gonna work. You know, what if it's too much money? What would you say in that aspect?
As somebody who's now on the other side of it, hey, it's well worth it. I'm not saying that now because I'm in the interview. I'm saying that because um, I did feel good before going into this interview. I mean, let's gonna make that clear. I did feel good. I did feel like I got over the hump before I got into this session. And even that, still during it, I've still broken down back into that state and was able to dig deep and realize there was even more of a reason of why I felt that way and why I was able to climb out of it. So there's still more there, even when you feel like you're complete. So just think about it from that standpoint. Just think about it from that standpoint. So I think you're not gonna respond. Plus, even with like the payment plan, like you have multiple sessions. We solved it in one. Honestly, we solved my issue in one. But like, there's still multiple times you can still come back and come back and come back to Austin. So I would recommend it 1,000 trillion% for real.
I appreciate that. You mentioned something very, very key there, right? You said that you were feeling already good coming into the session, yet you realized in the session there was still some residue there. And did this come up for us, right? There were
Mm-hmm.
still some parts that were still lingering, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that had you not resolved that, you know, maybe you're feeling good right before, but maybe in a week or in a few days, you might oscillate between feeling, all right, I'm good, and then there's still something that's bothering me. And then, okay, I'm good again, but then another day you're like, maybe something is still bothering me. So, yeah, what could you say in that aspect, right?
I would say that you know this it's like it's like having a disease. So there's symptoms to the disease, but drugs is like the quick fix. But then there's also the root cause, and if you can deal with the root cause, kind of the same way I'm dealing, not even like mentally, but just like physically, I could deal with the root cause of what was breaking me down physically, then I'm able to overcome that issue. So the same way applies to what was up here. So going up and down is just me dealing with the symptoms, and instead of dealing with the root cause, which came through here, that is what I'll say.
Perfect. I think you mentioned something that you tied it to, for example, disease, right? Some
Mm-hmm.
people learn to live with diseases. Some people learn to live with pain. That's just a symptom. You adapt to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yet once you get to the root of it, it's like, wait, I don't have to live with that anymore. What would you say that's
That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Because when you come back and like we're human, we're a roller coaster, we'll go up and down. But when you come back down, you understand that this is like a temporary pause. It's like a
right?
temporary pause. You know the root cause of it already. So you're just gonna just ride it till you roll right back up. So you don't have to sink down to those type of those issues no more. So hey, give my boy Austin a call, y'all. For real, for real.
And so you know, I see it, and I just want to mention it. The shirts that we're wearing matching shirts. It says willpower knows no weakness. What does that mean to you? Like what does
Everything,
that mean to you?
everything, everything. It means I'm my own. I'm my own strength. I'm my own weakness. I'm the problem. I'm the solution. And that's what it is. So that doesn't mean I can solve everything myself, right? But it means it can bring me back to understanding, how I'm feeling, how to get out of that feeling. What can I do to get out of this feeling? What can I do? Like come in here is a solution that that's the choice that we make as clients. I made to come through. So that's my that's my meaning for it.
Right. And willpower was something I think that was the breakthrough in the session, right? It was
Yep.
the realization that and I can see it in your face as you're smiling, right? Like the realization that wow, I didn't realize that I made it through this issue. I didn't realize I
Mm,
made it through this problem. And I did it once before and I can keep doing that again. And I can keep doing that again. Because you mentioned, right, we're human. We're always going to be facing problems. We're always going to be facing issues. I mean, it's inevitable. Yet,
mhm,
what would it be like to have that reminder, like, okay, I've been through something difficult before, and I use that willpower to get over it. And I use that willpower to basically bring me over this obstacle,
mhm,
right?
mhm. And yeah, it's just a matter of understanding it. And like you would think you would understand it even without it, but you don't really get to that point of understanding it until you actually like go back and face those demons. Go back and do them jumping jacks. Go back and I meant exercise them demons. That's why I say do them jumping jacks. But yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
it's not until you go back and you face some demons and you realize, hey, I broke through it. So like, what's an issue? What's the issue? Like, you're gonna see. You're gonna see. I feel like one is enough with everybody, but I feel like they're gonna go through and they're gonna see. They're just gonna see like what understand like what was the issue in the first place, and then break out
Go
of it.
through it. Yeah,
Break out of it. That's what I see, and that's what this is about.
right, right. It's realizing that I can do something about my situation. And one of the things that I tell a lot of people, it's very hard to be our own therapist. It's very hard to be our own specialist because when we're in a problem, we almost have like tunnel vision, right? Like we can't really see ourselves objectively. We can't really see our problem from maybe without a bias, without a projection. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that summarizes a little bit as to what we did, right? Like you had the answer. You had the answer. I feel like just through the conversation, we were just putting a spotlight on it.
Yeah, it was like, what were you doing here? What were you doing here? I'm like, praying about it, working out, all of that. Yes, that helped. But as a collective, that was me doing that action to get through that stuff. So yeah, yeah, it was perfect. It was like lightning in the bottle right there.
What would be what would describe how you felt after the session and maybe how you're feeling now?
I feel great. Honestly, I feel amazing. Now I don't feel as high as like that first moment, that lightning moment
Right.
in the bottle. I mean, nobody's gonna probably feel like that initial, but that realization is like still there wherever I go. It carries it follows me everywhere. So like honestly, I don't even I'm not even sure when my next low point is, but whenever it is, I'm ready. I'm pretty sure I'm ready. Not pretty sure I am.
There it is, right? Because we know essentially what it is that it's that willpower. I've been there
Mhm.
before and I'm able to get through it. And so, what was really like the most important thing for you? What was that most important realization for you?
Um, oof, that's a good question. I feel like it was like the little bits and pieces I kept bringing up, but I feel like after each one, it just started to like click, click, click. But I think it was like simple when you asked me. It was like, let's push all that to the side. What is it? He was like, let's push all that to the side. What is it that really happened? And I'm like, I did that. Like I did that. I I broke out. So I think that's probably my biggest realization. My biggest realization was like just just uh just understanding that one day I broke out of this rut and basically basically did on my own 2 feet.
What does that offer you moving forward?
Offers me freedom, offers me more risks, offers me offers me choice and the ability to finally go along, go full speed ahead with what I want to do with my life.
That's awesome, man. I think you mentioned a good thing there, right? It offers you freedom. It offers you the ability to take risk,
Hmm.
and it also offers you choice, right?
Yep.
To choose how I want to look at this situation, maybe choose how I want to feel.
Yep. That is perfectly true. That's perfectly true. Choose exactly how I want to feel. Just not even like my thoughts already getting jumbled. But yeah, pretty much choose exactly how you feel. Not just like feeling on these doubts. I want to say probably these doubts because the majority of like my choice was to just be like, I maybe can do this. Maybe I can't do this. Maybe I'm not this. Like maybe those words. Get them out. Sleep them under the rug, not under the rug. Get them out the rug, completely out the house. And with that, you get those words away. You get that choice of I am, I will. That builds confidence. That builds that feeling of choice and happiness. Now, it's not mean you're gonna succeed or you're gonna fail because ultimately that's up to the person. But at the same time, hey, as long as you live the best of your capabilities and what you can do, it doesn't really matter. So that's why I kind of feel that's kind of interconnected with like risk, choice, freedom, all of that.
Right, right, yeah. I mean, as long as you do what you can and you
Mhm.
control the factors that are in your that are at your disposal, right? You can control the things that you can control, and everything else, I mean, it's out of that. So beautifully said, beautifully said. What would you say to people who are putting off fixing their problems and frustrations in their lives?
Nothing like the present. Nothing like the present. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. You never guaranteed another day in this life. So you gotta live it to your fullest potential. And there's something that's blocking you. And when you know there's something that's blocking you, you gotta address it before you can move forward. So it may not be something like you want to revisit, but I promise you, as soon as you get back down to that bottom, you will bounce right back up.
There it is. There it is. Des, I want to thank you so much for just joining us today on this interview. Again, willpower knows no weakness. There's so much power in
It
that,
does. It
and
does.
there it
To
is.
help
There
you.
it is.
It is too.
There's so much power in that, and again, just thank you for taking the time to do this, and to everyone watching. Um, Thank you for watching, right? And I hope to share more knowledge, more information with you guys. I know so many people that are going through things silently, are experiencing a lot of problems, are experiencing a lot of issues. They don't know who to go to, they don't know who to speak to, and they bottle that up, right? And it takes somebody on the outside, and I'm about to connect this right now. It takes somebody on the outside to get that bottle, all that bottled up, and put some lightning in it so that you realize, hey, I can look at this problem differently. I can look at these issues differently. And it's that shift in perspective that almost allows us that healing moment. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in our next video. Thank you, Des.